Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be going over all the charts that you submitted for the Chartwork this week, and I wanted to do something special for y'all and record everything instead of me doing everything on a graphic and sharing it with y'all. I'm going to go through every single chart step by step. So I'm going to do everything off my phone, but show you everything on the charts on the screen. So the very first chart we have is CL. Okay, so I haven't marked up any of these charts. I just looked at some of the names, and off of the names, I utilized that to see what I wanted to do. We have, which one is it? So let's go to CL first. As you see, I was already working on NQ, but those are the ones we do every day, so those don't really count. So the first one we have is crude oil, and I'm going to show you the first thing that I see. Yeah, I see this inside picture. So this is stuff I already had on there. Let me erase it. Okay, so the first thing, I would go back just a little bit, don't have to be too much. Let's see, we have some lower highs. So we're just off of that alone, you'll see that the market wants to go lower. So we're going to pay attention to that first. That's the first thing we're going to look at right here. So I see from here to here to here, it wants to go lower, right? So for example, let me see, it's giving me lower highs, I mean lower lows. So you're already seeing that it's respecting this downtrend, but every time it comes down here, we have sellers. So that's one of the first things that I realized. So what I will utilize is my rectangles. Figures okay. And I go from the body to the lowest wick, and I'm marking up sellers first. Right. So I know this area is for sellers. I mean, I'm sorry, not sellers, buyers. Hold on. Picked the wrong one. Buyers. All right. So anything above here is buyers. As you come here, respects it, just wicks below, buys. We have this one wick come down. We have a doji. The doji changed the correction, push it up. This area is buys to here. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. This entire area is buys. And if something like this happens, where it's one candle and then a doji, you'll realize you don't want to get into that type of trade, but you also remember we're on a 1 hour time frame. So you still can make some good money below here, especially when it broke past this wick to the left side of it. So you still could have made some money to the downside. When you see this doji, realize you have some high lows right here. You could have noticed you're pushing up on this trade right here also. And one more thing we have here, I see we have a triple bottom. Well, really quadruple bottom. Though. So we have upside down crown, right? So we have the three here. So when it's a double, is a W, we go for the middle. When it's a triple, we go for the highest middle point of these three. That would be here. I don't have anything saved for the triple yet. So I'll make it now. Triple, let's go triple crown. I'm making it up as I want. Triple crown, um, up is buys. Triple crown up is buys. I'm gonna save it also now. I got too many. I got to see out some of these. Um, trip, trips up. Yeah, because there's the triple down. So a triple bottom is a big move to the upside. And then you will ask how high you think it can go. You will look to your left where we had our sellers right here. We had sellers here, as you see. We had sellers right here. So when we see our sellers right here, you'll see it came this way. Only wicks was above the sellers. It closed below the sellers. And then it continued to push past this previous buyer level, one solid candle. So it was strong sells to the downside until we had buys back here again. And then right here we have our W here once again. And you know what W's represent. Let me show you. We have our W here. We have our neckline here. And after this, I'm gonna go to the next chart. So I'm gonna show you where the entry is also. So we have our Wendy's, right? Neckline, close above, look for buys. Close above, look for buys. Came back, retest the same area. So indication, correction, continuation to the upside. And look where it came to the same level here, this neckline. So that's the first chart. As you see, I took everything off. I did everything exactly how I would do it in real time. The next one is gonna be ZBC. I said I don't even know. I'm just gonna do it. ZBC in USD. Okay. Actually, never done this one. I don't know the crypto. Okay. What time frame you have on? Schedules on the minute? No, no, no. Always 1 hour, 4 hour, right? So first thing I realized is the market structure, and we have a giant M right here also. So I could draw my giant M, right? That's already an indication that it wants to come down. So I want you to see how I recognize stuff in real time, how fast I recognize it. And you will get here too. I mean, this take me a little time, but repetition, repetition, repetition. Right here, this our neckline. Right here, McDonald's. Now we love McDonald's. In the chat, boom. I always go to the lowest. I don't go to the end. I always go to the lowest part of the middle. And indication, correction, continuation to the downside. How far down you think you can go? You just look to the left. You see where we had our buyers right here. Right? We had our buyers right here. No, that's not right. This one. If you do it correctly, you'll see this is where we at now. And if it's going a little lower, you will recognize you have some wicks right here. This is the liquidity to the left. And if you look here, it's matched up right here. So I just do the same thing over and over and over until I have the repetition of understanding that what I'm looking at. And that's how I'm able to see it so fast. And then if I go to my path, you see we have our market structure to the downside is here. And then we have another M. You see giant M right here. Giant M, neckline right here in the middle. Indication, correction, continuation to the downside. That is that chart. Let's go to the next one. That's from my mentee Treva. What's up, Treva? The next one we have is this Palantir? TR, right? Yeah. And we just use the information that we have. Okay, so we're going to start off. Go to, I already have my market structure to the upside. I'm going to take this off. Stock's a little different. It's just that one you're on. So, okay, cool. The first thing that I realized, we have a giant M right here, McDonald's. So I'm going to draw that off the rip. And then we also have that gap. I see the gap too. I don't know what you think I forgot about the gap. So we have our giant M right here, right? We have our McDonald's again. We have the low point right here. Right, close below, look for sales, indication, correction, continuation to the downside. We also have this gap fill. I don't want you to think I forgot about this gap. Right, so you're looking at the gap, you see, came to the gap, indication, it corrected, then it continued to come down. And then how low can it go? You see where it's at now? Look where these buyers are right here. So this is our first set of buyers here. Right, you go from the body, low wick. So we have our buyers here. That's where it push back up here. And then You look to the left to see if we have any lower lows than that previous low. All same level here. And I would just look. We have these levels here. I would draw it from the body to the bottom of this wick. So I would call my buyers. And then I would look to the left to see if it was right. I mean, to the right to see if it was right. And as you see here, respected the halfway mark of where I put my buyers at, and then it pushed up. That's that one. Riot is next. Riot is a stock that moves with crypto. Riot, Mara, MicroStrategies. They usually move with the price action of Bitcoin. The first thing I see is the market stretches to the downside. So no overthinking for this trade. We also have a gap right here that's filled, continue to push down. But this is pretty simple, this one. It's just the market structures to the downside for Riot. So we have an M here as well. So technically, if I wanted to, I could draw this M if I wanted to, right? But we'll start with the M. McDonald's again. Most of the market has been given to McDonald's. I don't know if y'all noticed that. That just means the market has been on the downside. To the downside, as you look, you see how it came back here. So indication, correction, continuation, right? And even if it corrected again right here, it stayed at the neckline level. So the entry was always at this level here. So you would have came back down. You would have been at break even. You still would have been not negative in your trade. And then we continue to go to the downside. Not just that, you also have your market shirts to the downside. So you have this here, 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 here. I'm not gonna do all of them. This is the same thing. You see? Here, 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 here. So yeah. Okay, on market shirts to the downside. This is also here too. I skipped this one, but it's right here. I just redraw it. I don't want to be lazy. So I can see it. So here, 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 here. This one. Market structure here, down to here. Okay, so this is what we have. Market structure to the downside. It failed to give us a W, right? So it's no W. So it's not going back up. This has been our neckline. If this continues to give us a W, we have no W. So all we have is higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So we have lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Like stairs going down, okay? That's how I look at that one. That is right. Let's go to the next one. Somebody put in XRP. Let's do XRP. The XRP ETF is the fastest growing ETF in stock history, but it still hasn't done much for the stock, to be honest. They have XRP futures. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I'm not gonna look at it, but I see a giant W right away. But that's not what I don't want to look at. I want to look at regular XRP, the crypto. Okay, cool. So we have a giant M. That's the first thing that I recognize. I like to just go for what I see first because after a while you'll see the W's, you'll see the M's, and you'll see the buyers here, right? So the right thing to do is the buyers here, right? So we start with the buyers. Always start to the left of your chart. So we have our buyers right here. We have our 1, 2, 3, triple bottom, right? So a double bottom is a big move to the downside, right? A triple bottom is a giant move, right? So if we have a triple bottom, you look for a giant move to the top, and a triple top would be a giant move to the downside. So right now we have a triple bottom. So we know we're looking for a big push to the upside. Okay. So that kind of gives you what you're looking for. And then you do the same thing. You do the highest point of all three, which is here, indication, correction, continuation. I think one of my next videos is going to be how to trade ICC light side. I think I'm gonna show that, break down the videos, and record it and then put it on YouTube so everybody have it. So I can help some people with that. But this is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, triple bottom, neckline, indication, correction, continuation to the upside, and it pushed up. And then you see we have our sellers right here. Sellers is the body, the highest body to the highest weight is what I'll look for. Mark my sellers right here. So that's currently what we have right here. So obviously you have the W in the middle. Neckline will be here. Entry could be to the bottom of here, as you see this is here. So that's what you would look for as far as levels wise. And I'm sorry I'm talking kind of faster now. It's because I'm trying to make sure I get everything recorded for y'all. So I apologize, but you have it on YouTube, so you can save it and share it. So yeah, that is XRP. So you can see it for yourself. And right now, okay, hold on. So you can see how far back can it go. I just do this here. So you got this neckline here, neckline on Wendy. Trips up. I need to have it trips down too. This is just for my notes. That way, if y'all want to put the chart, I can send it to y'all also. And you just look to the left. If you look to the left, we have a W, neckline, close above the neckline, push up to the buy, to here. I draw it just to draw it. Important that you gotta have all information. So, and sometimes it's not gonna be exactly even too. Okay, so it might be a W, and it might not be exactly even. And I like to put my arrows, my path to the middle part of highest point, which will be here. Okay, goes above, push up to here. Is where I first stop here, high and left. Then we look for sellers right here again. So that's just lower right here. So, and then we have our buyers on the bottom. So I'll put the buyers where the wick is to the bottom, the body, wick, buyers. That's where we're at now currently. So that's how I'm able to always see where it's going, what to look for, how it works. This is the type of thing I try to do for everybody. And this is so good. I don't even know if I want to put it on YouTube. Nah, but I'm gonna put it. I'll post it. I want y'all to be able to see it and have it. Yeah, also I have an M here. But yeah, that's enough XRP. I done did too much on XRP. Nvidia is next. That's what you gotta see. You know how my brain works when I see the stuff. And just know I'm doing this for y'all. We have a triple top right here. So we have the giant M, but you also have a portion of it in the middle of here. So there's this. So I'm gonna utilize all three. Right? There's a crown down. So you have the crown up, and then you have the crown down. So I have here. So it's not exactly ideal as far as height wise, because you want them 303, but we have here. You'll have our neckline, the lowest point inside the middle. We have our indication, our correction, and our continuation to the downside. So let me add a little something else, like a little circle or something, so you can see the entry. Entry is here. So indication, want to be a sell. So you could have made money. Look, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hours of selling. So you could have made money on the sell. Then you would have seen it corrected and then still pursue to go down. Okay. So even if this, you want to count this as indication, correction, and continuation, that's what you look for. So this is the entry. Okay. The entry is also here, close below the neckline is the entry. Let me go ahead and just. So McDonald's. But this is a different one. I'll save as trips. Okay. One is up, one is down. Trips down. So this is a different one. Right. So Close on the leg line, look for sales, indication, correction, continuation to the downside. How far down can it go? You always look to your left. At the bottom or the top of your chart, that's the maximized liquidity, right? So if I come to here, I go to the body, down to the wick. If I just look to the side, you see it respected this area here. When it got close to this area here, it pushed up. Now, a lot of the work that I'm doing, the trend future algo, it does most of this stuff for me. My indicator does most of the stuff for you. For what I just wanted y'all to see how to look at the stuff in real time and how I do my whole process and how I find everything. So these are where the buyers are. Thank y'all for challenging me. I really appreciate it, seriously. And then we also have our structure here on the 1 hour. Lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, higher lows to the downside. So we have this. And why did it stop? You look to your left, you do your rectangle, and you will see buyers here. And then this is where it stopped. This is where buyers is, closed above the buyers, and then it pushed up. Okay, so that's in Nvidia, not S&P 500, Amazon. And this is what I kind of do in the mornings. Like I just do a little quick breeze through of everything real fast, just to like look at the market, see what I see. If I don't see nothing, I don't overthink nothing. Erase everything, start over. As always, Amazon. So what I see with Amazon, I see obviously you see the giant moves to the upside, right? Indication, correction, continuation to the upside. But I don't want to make it that easy. So we're gonna go to here instead. Right? That's kind of easy on that first part. We have this gap that has to be filled right here. Okay, so we're gonna do this here. I do like actual like a gap, like a fair value gap, right? The easiest one. I want this to be the simplest one that I show. Okay. So we had to fill this gap. Okay. So we have our indication, correction, continuation to the downside. I don't want this one to be a bunch of buyers, sellers, every single thing. This is gonna be the simplest one I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna go to more charts, but this is just simple. It indicated that it wanted to sell, corrected, respected, dropped. That's it. Nothing else. No extra detailed complication explanation of what it was. That's all I did. Let me see what time this is. It's 8 o'clock, right? 8 o'clock to 11 to 4 in the morning. Like all it did was continue to push down. It corrected, continue to sell off. That's it. ICC. Broke it down simple as possible. All it did was come to this gap, but the gap had to fill. Even this came back down to the gap. So we came back, filled this gap here. So we had our indication, our correction, continuation to the upside. Then we had our indication, correction, continuation to the downside. That's it. Amazon, keep it simple. Um, Next one is UPS. And I don't look at this stuff every day at all. So I just wanted to show y'all. If any way I can help y'all, please let me know. It's just how I see the market. For this one, we have sellers at the top, as you see. So we go to the sellers first. Right here, we have the body of the candle to the wick, right? We have sellers. So I'm gonna put sellers here. As you see in the future, it respected this area here, only gave us wicks. Then it closed above, it respected these sellers, and then it pushed down, okay? So that's how we have that. We have a ugly M, but still an M here. So I'm not gonna draw that one, that's kind of easy. This looks a little weird, but here. We also have buyers here. So we go to lowest body to the lowest wick. That's how I do lines, right? Buyers. And what I look for when it finally closes below, then you look for sales. You see? When it closes above, then you look for buys. And the buyers is to where? To the sellers, right? Close above, indication, correction, continuation. Let me draw and say it so you can see. So we have our indication. They don't want to be a buy as above, our correction, then our continuation to the upside. Same shape I told you I look out for. The same shape that the charts give us for free. Where's that? This one. This is the shape that you want for your chart. Right? It's giving you the answers to the trade, right? It wants you to do, if the trade do that, you know what it's doing. In that N shape, that Z shape, whatever, that's what you're looking for. Okay. So that's UPS. And hopefully it's making sense to y'all a little more now. Ethereum. I'm gonna show the charts, the other ones, but I'm gonna do the ones we don't do. This is Tesla. Let's do Tesla next. There's TSLA. Especially if you do this after a while, you start to remember the symbols. How's right now? Okay, easy. Market shirts to the downside. I already did this one, but I erased it and still do it, even though you see it now. But that's all that was. Market shirts to the downside. We also have this gap that has to be filled, as you see here. So I'm gonna do the gaps first, just to see the gaps. So you have this gap has to be filled, right? Indication, correction, continuation to the downside. We also have this gap right here that has to be filled, right? So from this to this is our gap. We have our indication, right? We correct it here. Gave us an M, right? Sometimes it don't seem like a letter or something like that. It's not always gonna be a letter also. I mean, I call it this, but it's not always gonna be this, right? And so we have an M right here. McDonald's. I'll show you what I'm looking for every time. With the McDonald's. Same thing. So you want to close indication, correction. Entry is which one is it? Circle it up. Entry is here. Okay, let's see everyone. Down, up, respect the neckline again. See where it's to the downside. Okay. Then we have another gap right here that has to be filled. So as there's a sell off here, it comes and fills this gap here. Also, I make sure I do it. I don't want to teach y'all. So let me draw it. So it comes to get this gap right here. So this gap up here is filled up here, and then guess where it stops? Inside of this fit right gap here. So the gaps are very important, and you see it respects the halfway mark. So that's where that is with Tesla. That's Tesla. We have S&P, the British pound. Challenge. Some Forex stuff. Is it GBP? Sorry. GBP SD. I'm not really haven't done Forex really like that, but I like a challenge. Okay. Yep, that's the right one. Okay, cool. So the first thing that I realized, we have buyers right here. Keep everything the same. Every single chart can be done the same way as y'all see. Right. So we have our sellers right here. Right. Body to the wick. So sellers here. We sellers first. Right. Because this to my left becomes before this. That's the reason I did that one first. Okay. Then we have the buyers here from the lowest body to the lowest wick. So we have our buyers here. So we have our indication, our correction, our continuation to the upside. See, you remember that shape I told you how to look for? That letter, that Z, N letter. So we have it here. See? It's giving you the answer to the test. It's the same thing every time. So when you have this, that's the ideal trade, optimal trade you're looking for. Okay. So this is this again, just so you see that shape. That's here. Okay. So I mean that's simple, but I'm still getting some information on this chart. You will look for here as well, giant W. It's not always going to be the most optimal. I do the arrow to the middle, at least. I try to get the middle. This is my entry. I'm going to show you where to enter at. Maybe I start doing that, adding the entry points so I can see the trades. 0 here. Close it above, look for buys. So we have the neckline, indication, correction, continuation to the upside. Just a little more. You see, we have the same thing here. It'll look just like this. Indication, correction, continuation to the upside. Same letter, same Z shape, N shape letter. N. Okay. Then we have our sellers right here. Went down to the downside. Okay. Sellers here. This is our last sellers. We had lower highs right here to the downside. So let me just draw it real quick. So we have here, say for example, we have here, right? So we have the market starts to the downside like we want, and then how to see how high or how low it can go. You want to put it here. So like I said, I'm trying to stay positive, everyone. Like this is just how I see the charts. It's not hard at all for me. I'm sorry. It's just the way I'm very confident in myself. I study so much. I see these images, they pop out of my head. They pop out of the screen every single time I pause. Like I literally see everything now. And it's all from repetition, seeing stuff over and over and over. If I put the cells here, right, and then I go to over here on my chart, it's right here exactly. I already know exactly what to look for every single time now. I'm not saying I'm always right. No, nobody's always right. But I always know exactly what to look for. When I mess up on a trade, I feel so stupid because I'm like, I knew I shouldn't do that. And I still did it. And I'd be so mad at myself. But it said we're all learning. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. I am not AI, even though I think I am sometimes. Sometimes. So Microsoft, no, was it MSM? Oh yeah, FT. I did it wrong. I was like, well, I don't like this. Should be on that. Right. So we have our market shirts to the upside. We have our buyers. Matter of fact, all right, this is gonna be another simple one. So you see this gap right here, everyone? All we're gonna do is worry about filling this gap, right? Yep. We have our indication, our correction, our continuation to the upside, right? So we have this exact N shape a couple times on this trade. So we have here, here to here. Okay, we have it here. We have it here. You see? Same thing twice. Indication corrections can be to the upside. You see how I came back to the same level here, which basically the halfway market is fair value gap and pushed up. So let me put this back to the right proper spot, which is here. And the entry is here. Entry. So this is where you would buy here at the correction. Close above the gap, correct into the gap, push up. You'll also buy here, right? This is the buy area. So every time it gets to this level, we look for buys to keep simple. Okay, that makes sense. Every time we get here, we look for buys. Close above here, we look for buys. That's easy one, simple, easy one. Microsoft, yeah. What's this one? Not that one. Nifty. Never seen it before. Let's do it. Nifty. Nifty. Is it? Yeah, 50 index. Yeah. Yeah. 13. First thing that pops up to me right away, we have a giant W right here to the upside, and we have the gap to fill right here. So I'm gonna keep this one simple as well. So hold on, I'm gonna draw the entry first. I'm gonna reverse engineer it. This is the entry here. Okay, this is the entry area here. Okay, then I'm gonna show you why. So entry is here. Okay, so then we draw the gap. because I show you what to do in the first couple of charts, so you already know the steps of fully what to look for, right? You have our indication, our correction, close above the gap, entry is here. The entry is here, right? It already came back down, filled this gap here. Before that, the entry is here, right? Close above it, look for buys. Giant W here, and we have the gap filled down there as well. So we have a giant W. We have this gap right here that had to fill. So that's what it did. Indication. It corrected to the gap here, as you see. Yeah, let me remove this so I can see this real quick too. I just want y'all to see it. This is like a game to me. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be having fun doing charts here. Move this out the way real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the gap to fill right here. Our indication is here. Our correction is here. It closed above the gap. Our entry is here. So hold on. Let me do another entry right here so y'all see it. Our entry again is here. And the shape is the N of the letter, right? So we have our indication, correction, entry to the upside here. Okay. So you compound that with W. So you have double confirmations, triple confirmations for a buy right there to the upside. And how high can it go? You look to your left. You have a gap right here, as you see. So like I said, the way I use multiple different people's strategy to create my own strategy. So this obviously isn't ICC, it's how I trade, but I always look for the same thing every single time. So that's how I'm able to see certain things because some people don't use fair value gaps, some people don't use W's and M's, you know. But the way I trade, as you see, halfway to fair value gap, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm always right for what I'm looking for. If that makes sense. I'm always right for what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a certain thing in the market. It's usually that. We have one, two, three, a triple top. Told you it was a triple top. Close. Oh, matter of fact, I'll just do it real quick. Why not? I like this chart because it's something I've never seen before. So I don't even totally know what to look for. One, two, right? I said if it's a triple, it's a stronger move to the downside. So a triple top, big move to the downside. Neckline is here. Always go to the lowest point. All right. Um, Trips down. Yep. Indication. Correction continuation to the downside. That's Nifty. Let's look at something else. Look at the next one. Natural gas is E. Is it E J? Is CJ? I don't think that's it. We did gas already. I'm not sure. Natural. Natural gas. Is it this one? I guess. Yeah, I can't really tell to be honest. Okay. Looks a little different, but same thing. Giant W right here, neckline in the middle. We have our neckline for a giant W right here. And I said like the full steps. Y'all seen me do the full detail steps in the first couple charts. So it's you taking that information and applying it to these future charts, okay? And then so we have a giant W here. Our entry is above the neckline, which is here. It continues to push up. And this always try to look for where the chart went to its lowest and where is that now. So the lowest is if you look up above it, it's a gap right here. So it came down and filled the gap, closed above the gap. They continue to push up. Up here, we have McDonald's, M. So this is like really my strategy, basically. I'm not gonna lie. It's hints of other stuff as well, but it's like stuff that me and Bree utilize more than just me using ICC or ICT or anything like that, right? So it's an indication, correction is to the downside, off the M. So that's two different confirmations for itself. Okay, so it's multiple confirmations right there off that McDonald's. So that's how I look at that one. Um, and all it did was came down to the gap here, filled the gap, push back up, respected the neckline again, and push back down. Closed on the neckline for sell. So all it did was sell off at the same area here for the hour. It was a sell for the hour. So okay, cool. And then, but the market structure was to the upside until we had high lows right here. So it was here. Let's draw this real quick. It was in here. We had higher lows right here, respected, and then it continued to push up. Which is a giant W, which is what we drew at the beginning, neckline W, you know? So just don't overthink it. It's the same thing. Let's see the next one. Hopefully that was the right one. British pound. I think we just did that one. And this last one, man, last one is fast. The last one is the euro in New Zealand. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I don't really do forex, I guess. So sometimes I'll be like NZD. Is it Europe and New Zealand? I see right here. Okay, this one's a little easier too. Come down here, we'll look for we had our sellers and buyers. So we had our buyers to the downside here. I mean buyers at the downside. I mean not talk too fast. So we had our buyers here, the downside body to wick. I put it a little too high. I see. It's like here, really. Here, and I'm looking at this wick right here. That's cool. So we have our buyers here, right? Right. We had a giant M first. So you could have caught a sell to the downside to here really quick if you wanted to. But then it is indication, correction, continuation to the upside here. It gave us that on the upside here. And then it did it again here. Double ICD. ICC. Indication, correction, continuation. Indication, correction, continuation to the upside again. That's what we got here, okay? Our sellers are here, so in the future, when we're saying how far can they go, we look for the last place we had sellers. And the last place we had sellers are here, the wicks to the body, which is here. And then I'll put at the top the sellers. So this is really how I look at the chart really fast. We have a W right here as well. I don't take too much time overthinking this stuff. I just train my eyes to try to see as much as I can, as fast as I can, especially when I'm trying to give you trades live in real time, you know. So we have our W here to the neckline here. And sometimes, let's see, middle here. We see right here. So we have our W. Wendy's, close above here, close above liquid buys. You see it never closed above yet? Oh, I'm sharp so I can see exactly what I mean by close above. So you see this body is touching here, still touching here, still touching here, still touching here. Doji. Don't get in right away, right? Reversed, came down, pushed up. So we have an indication it wants to go up. A doji again, a double doji, right? And then it pushed back up to here. All right, so we have our indication, correction, continuation, indication, correction, continuation to the upside. To our sellers, respected the level above, created lower highs, and trend. It tells you it's lower highs. It's letting you know is going down. It's letting you know it's lower highs right here. And this is with the trend fusion algo. It gives you the lower highs right there. All right. And then you just take the trade to the downside. How far can it go down? You look to the left, you see this here. Move too fast. I'm sorry. So I'll go to the lowest wick. And this is where this is right now. All right. And this is overall in a giant gap to the left. I'll just glance over real quick. It's here. As you see, at the halfway mark of the gap. Every single time I know exactly what to look for. It's just my strategy, just exactly how I look at the market. So I use ICC, I use Breeze, Trend Fusion Algo, I use my core indicator. All the stuff I learned from all my different mentors, I put all into one. And I kind of created my own strategies technically, but I want to give them their credit. It's not about me, it's about y'all learning this stuff and me helping y'all. So thank y'all for your time. Yeah, I think I'm done with the charts. That was the last one. Let me make sure I can check again. Oh yeah, then I said I'm gonna show y'all. Okay, so let's go to. We're gonna run through all the other charts real quick. So this is the main ones we do every single day. So we have our triple top. Triple top. What triple top means? We're looking for a giant sell to the downside. This is the lowest wick. Oh, it's really this one. Almost tricky. It's this one actually, right here. So if it closed in low, strip down. All right, neck close up the neckline. Look for sales. All right, indication, it corrected, closed below here finally, came all the way down to our buyers. That is in queue, everybody, on the 1 hour. And if you look at this gap right here, this gap was filled right here. Same thing. Same thing, all the charts. But look at gold. These are the ones I already had marked up, so that's why I said keep it something different. We have our W here, we have our neckline in the middle, we close above, right? Look for buys, it gives a giant bullish gap to the upside, and they continue to push up. This was the last time we had sellers, it was here. Right, you see here. All right, so I want to drag it down a little bit more. That's good there. Yeah. And if you look to here, this is exactly where it's gonna go. Let's go to YM. I said they already had these done, so you know these was gonna work. We have a market chart to the downside. Take this off. And I'm gonna draw it again. Well, not draw that again because that's kind of easy. We have a giant M right here, right? So hopefully y'all can start seeing some of the stuff that I see when I do this stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna make this private on YouTube. I done gave you all the sauce. It's all good though. No, I'm just posting it. Yeah, I'm posting it on YouTube. YouTube. Okay, neckline, McDonald's. To the downside. I got way too many things drawn for it, man. Close below, look for sales, close below. So down to the sellers, push past the sellers, came all the way down to these buyers. Okay, RTY. We had an M here, close below the M, push down to the buyers, push past the buyers. And here we had our sellers at the top. And now respect to the sellers indication, correction, continuation to the downside. Keep it simple. Bitcoin. Bitcoin market church to the downside after M. After McDonald's, close after the neckline, look for sales, and the market church with higher lows to the downside. Keeping it simple. Ethereum had a little weirder movement. Had a W here, but it didn't finish completing the W. So it never went above the neckline. So it was a continuation to the downside. We have our M right here. So we have an indication, our correction, another M, and continue to push down to the downside. And everything is continuing to push down. Then we have Solano, which will be the last one. Market structure to the downside, keeping it simple. Even before it popped up, you see it. So yeah, that is the charts.